Well, the European Medicines Agency could approve a second COVID-19 vaccine today. Regulators are meeting to discuss the viability of US drug maker Moderna's jab 2 days ahead of schedule, as member states criticise the slow rollout of vaccines across the bloc. The European Commission has defended its vaccination strategy, saying it's required access to 2 billion doses in total. In Finland, health authorities say they had only received 50,000 jabs by the end of the year, despite expecting about 200,000. Meanwhile, the UK has already started vaccinating people with its second vaccine, as Natalie Hewitt reports.
82-year-old Brian Pinker isn't used to media scrums. Now he's known as the first person in the world to get the vaccine developed by Oxford University and AstraZeneca. He's hoping the jab will allow him to celebrate his 48th wedding anniversary with peace of mind.
Well, the vaccine means everything to me. I mean, to my mind, it's the only way of getting back to a bit of normal life. You know, this virus is terrible, isn't it? I'm very pleased that I got the Oxford vaccine. Very pleased.
The vaccine is being administered at a small number of British hospitals for a few days, so authorities can be on the lookout for any adverse reactions. But hundreds of new vaccination sites will open later this week.
We've moved into a new part of the battle now, haven't we? At first, it was a scientific race. You know, could we make vaccines? Would they work? Would they neutralize the virus? We have many up our sleeve that can do that. And now we shift into a new part of the campaign, which is the logistics. And can we organize the cold supply chain? Can we organize the vaccinators? Can we make enough doses in a trouble-free way? It becomes a different kind of struggle, which is, equally big.
There's plenty evidence of that struggle in France, where the government has been criticized for the slow launch of its vaccination campaign. It's promised to speed things up to catch up with other countries, such as Germany, Spain, and Italy. But authorities across Europe will have to overcome logistical challenges and contend with skepticism around vaccines from some parts of the population.
Well, correspondent Tig Enright is in London for more on the UK's coronavirus response. Well, good evening there to you, Tig. So we're expecting tougher measures to be announced in England. Scotland's going to lockdown at midnight. What's on the cards?
Yeah, it is a really bittersweet day here, Isabel, on the day when we have so much hope about this new vaccine being rolled out. We're also seeing a rapidly rising infection rate, indeed a new daily record for new infections just released, almost 59,000 people over the past day, and that illustrates the need to return to lockdown. Scotland led the way this afternoon, announcing a return to lockdown from midnight local time tonight. The First Minister there, Nicola Sturgeon, saying she was more concerned about the situation Scotland faces now than she'd been at any time since March of last year. And we all know what these lockdowns look like. We're talking about the closure of non-essential retail, pubs and restaurants. But a big difference in Scotland is that schools are going to remain closed for the rest of this month. As to what that means for England, well, we're relying on leaks so far, but those leaks suggest that lockdown is back, even if Boris Johnson might choose to call it Tier 5 for the purpose of branding or optics. Only unanswered questions are, will it be nationwide? And will schools close? The latest messaging just in the past couple of days from the government here in London is that primary schools are safe. We know so far that Parliament is going to be recalled on Wednesday, and that suggests, recalled early from its Christmas break, that suggests MPs are going to have to vote on measures which are over and above what the current legislation allows for. There are, of course, plenty of lockdown sceptics within Boris Johnson's Conservative Party ranks, but considering the opposition Labour Party actually called itself for a return to lockdown only just on Sunday, we can expect them to vote for it too, and it's unlikely that Parliament will stand in the way. Isabel?
Yeah, Tig, because you said it was a bittersweet moment, because as all these things unfold, vaccination efforts are really gathering pace.
Yeah, that's right. Today was the first day, as we just heard, of the rollout of the new Oxford AstraZeneca jab. There are 500,000 doses expected to be administered this week. It is a deliberately slow start, we're being told, as they try and get the process up and running. You know, around that many people, again, have had the Pfizer jab since it was approved towards the end of last year. The government's latest plan is to have vaccination capacity of 2 million people every week by February. That said, we have seen how the government's best laid plans and targets have not been achieved throughout this crisis. As you say, it is now a race against the virus, particularly this new, particularly infectious strain. And that's part of the reason why we're also seeing a change in strategy here. Remember, all these vaccines are two-dose vaccines, and the new priority is to ensure that as many people as possible get their first dose first of all, even if those seeking or waiting for a second dose have to wait later. The latest medical thinking is that that is a better approach overall, that first dose will give you some level of a very good level of protection from the virus, although there are also understandable concerns considering that it is a pretty rapid change in the government's plans. Isabel?
A real race against the virus. Well, many thanks to us there, Tigen Wright in London.